Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Game Dev Tycoon. As always, I have no idea what we were doing last episode. Actually, it's not as always, it's because it's another recording session. But here we go. You can see that 1.8 million people have visited our booth. So it's just after E3. We've also just released Abduction Wars, which I do believe is an MMO. And I was thinking about what do we want to do now? Because we're at the end of the game and there's not a lot left to do. And by the way, some of you have been saying that the R&D lab, they'll get you research points when they're not doing anything. Let's see if we can get them starting a project. But we don't want to hold a convention, and that's the only thing. So anyway, they have been getting us research points. I've been keeping my eye on it. And that's actually what we want to do right now. We want to research everything that's left in the game. We've done all of the topics. We're going to do that even though we're not going to use it. And we're going to get everyone to do a little bit of research before they go on holiday, and then we will make probably an expansion pack for Abduction Wars to keep that MMO going. But I'd like to make a new game engine and a console that supports absolutely everything that there is in the game. So that's why we're doing this research, and we're going to spend all of our research points on this. And then when we've made that new console, because it'll have everything that you can research in it, then it will just come down to making the best game possible, which will involve training our staff up so they have ridiculous amounts of points for various things like speed and design and all that sort of stuff. So we're kind of getting towards the end of the game now, and I'd like to push towards that. I don't feel like I'm done playing this game, I just feel like I want to take a break. So let's get to the end and then maybe we'll come back and do some sort of like best game possible or something like that, I don't know. But yeah, I just want to kind of get to the end of where this is going at the moment. So let's drag that budget up because we have tons and tons of money, and then we'll have enough research points for Sebastian to get involved as well. And myself, I'm not doing much at the moment, but that's fine. Actually, why don't I get myself to research it, because everyone else is about to go on holiday. And it's possible that these research topics we're doing could unlock something, but we are just going to send everyone on vacation now. And it'll all be done soon. And when they come back we can do that expansion pack. Now some of the things we researched they might not require us building a new engine for, which is something that does happen, so we might be able to put something new into our next expansion pack for Abduction Wars. The game about competing with other alien races to abduct people. Okay, so looks like just waiting on these two and then we'll be ready to make an expansion pack, which should be fairly easy. Okay, everyone's back from holiday. We're going to be making our new game, which is called New Planets, and it's actually an expansion pack. So everything here gets to stay the same, except we need to pick our latest game engine, which is number 15. And I think all the sliders are going to be the same. Anyway, let's start development. Now, one thing that was pointed out in the comments on a previous episode is the game isn't automatically assigning people to each of the different sliders. It just remembers the ones I did last time, and more often than not, that's going to be exactly what you need, isn't it? So this is what we done last time. Maybe we will change something up here. Perhaps we could get Paul Reed on that, although I can't help but feel he's supposed to do something else. But we have trained some other people as specialists since then, I do believe, so we need to be keeping our eye on that. But anyway, we'll keep everything the same. Let's have a look over the side here. Oh, that's it. So let's add that to the engine. So we're going to have to bring gameplay down a touch, like that. And there's not more to select from there. I'm sure there's usually more stuff. And the rating on our last game, if we go and have a look, it was 9.25, so there is room for improvement. That's something to consider. Now the hype is coming in, and while I remember, we need these guys to start a project. That's going to be a marketing campaign. Well, I was going to do own convention, but let's do that one. Let's drag that budget all the way up, which it's not letting me do for some reason. Okay, perhaps 2.8 million is the maximum. I thought it was free. It seems 2.8 is all we can do. And I forgot about multipliers again. We'll do that in the next round because I've just forgotten loads of stuff since I've last played. But it's all good. Still should make a good game overall. I think we've done a round of training at the end of the last game as well. So everyone's got, you know, the third level for the boosters. But let's have a look here. What can we improve? What did we not do in the last one? So we can't add anything big and fancy like that, and there's nothing extra to add there, so maybe why don't we go for a bit more on the artificial intelligence this time. mess around with the sliders a bit and see if we can do something better is what I'm thinking. Okay, so let's go ahead with that. And now we're going to use multipliers on these guys. I don't think Paul Reed's doing his own category just yet. And we'll save me and Paul Reed for last. I think that's usually what we do. And let's do a bit of marketing as well, just to keep to get it going. Large campaign. I don't think this one's going to be ready in time as it goes. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else I'm supposed to do? Now, Abduction Wars has started to make a loss, so this is going to come in at the right time, it would seem. And look at that, that's crazy. I have no idea what our last score was, so I don't know what we're aiming to beat at the moment. Okay, let's have a look. What can we improve here? Possibly some stuff on world design. But it's going to mean adjusting the slider a fair bit. Let's do that. Can we keep on top of graphics? We can, and sound as well. So surround sound is better than that. I think we should actually bring sound down a touch. There we go. And I think that brought me to exactly 100%. And Paul Reed 100% as well. Because he's doing both things there. Okay, so did we train anyone in something else? Like world design? No, we did not. So that would be a good combination right there. Yes, okay. And as I said, Paul Reed and myself doing the last combination bit there, so we got that right. It looks like the marketing campaign will actually come in just in time. So starting that right as the game begins is the best way to do it, which also makes sense because that's the only time you can actually start it. And this might just come in time as well, so we're going to go with a large booth. And with all these combination of good things, a large amount of hype already, a marketing campaign which is now finished, so that should help with the hype. Oh yeah, and that was another thing, action games were popular right as we started developing this, which is also an action game. Let's hold our own conference as well, just for the sake of it. Keep those people busy. And that is the end, so now it's time to do all the bugs. And here it is, G3, perfect timing. So how many people we have this time? I don't think we've beaten 2 million yet. Oh, now we have. 2.3 million, there we go. Very good. Very good stuff. So just waiting to get rid of the bugs, then we will release this. Abduction Wars has been making quite a loss. Now, if I had started making this immediately after the last one, without doing the research, send everyone on holiday, it wouldn't have been much closer, you know. So if you're going to make an MMO, you have to pretty much consecutively release expansion packs for it. So I think the next thing that we should do, we should take a break from an MMO. But I did say I also wanted to make my own console again. So that's probably what we're going to do immediately after this. So we've organised our own convention now. The hype is extremely high, by the way. I don't know how long till the convention starts. I think it's a month. So the hype is probably going to start dying down. And as always, as soon as it goes down, we'll click finish. But hopefully we will get our own convention before that. And it's looking good. Okay, there it goes. The hype just started to go down. And as always, a little bug creeps in there right at the end. We've got a new record on both. Leveled up on 3D graphics. Let's release this game. And the review has come in. An 8. An 8. I think the way I adjusted the sliders was for the worst. Yep, not as good as the original game, but it is an expansion pack, so we should see some sales come in. And now what we're actually going to do is leave these guys for a moment. I'm not going to set them up with anything. We're going to develop a new console. And this is interesting. So as you develop more consoles, you get to pick more variations. That's interesting. So I wonder if this console is naturally going to be better than the previous one, and then this one would even be better than that. Which I would like to think is the case. We're actually going to skip the last one and see what happens. So we're going to call this the Teabag, as some people suggested. We'll call this Mark II, even though the previous one wasn't called the Teabag Mark I, but I like that name so much, so actually let's just call it the Teabag, there's no need for that. So there we go, the quality assurance budget has been pushed up, and this is going to include 3D Graphics Mark VII. I don't know if there's a 2D Graphics Mark IV, that's something that we haven't looked into actually. What can we research now? Have we unlocked anything? Let's go back have a quick look. Nope, that is actually it, so that's cool. Let's go back here and pick that same variation. It was number 5, I do believe. So the teabag, quality assurance budget to the max. Oh, look at it this time, it cost 139 million. Ah, now we can do a little bit of experimenting here. So does it cost more or less with this one? No, it doesn't. It could also be just because this is a new console that it's going to be better anyway. Just trying to think about how the game works to some extent. So we don't have multiplayer in there, that's because online play is better than that. And so the only thing we can really add with this is surround sound by the looks of it, so this could possibly be our last console. I don't know how it works, but we're going to adjust the budget all the way up to 2.8 million. Could have sworn that went up to 3 million as well. So that's going to take a bit of time. Let's come over here. These guys are getting us loads of research points, which are now only good for training. So that is something we should do actually. Let's get everyone on a speed course, which is product management, and then we'll send them on holiday and start developing a new game. And when Abduction Wars becomes unprofitable, we will take that off the market, which means we will lose some fans as well, if I remember correctly, because we don't have an MMO to replace it. So let's get these guys all on training. Okay, we are now ready to develop our next game. Can you guess what it is? It's going to be a AAA game, which is actually not what this is. It's going to be aimed at everyone. It's a simulation game on the PC. What will the topic be? It's going to be Game Dev, that's right. We're going to make Game Dev Tycoon within Game Dev Tycoon. Let's type that in. And we're going to make a AAA, because obviously if we do a smaller one it'll be a flop. But I guess this is probably a small or a medium game. Don't know how you'd scale those things up, but it's definitely not a AAA. But we're going to make the game within the game now, which I know some of you have been waiting for a long time. I see lots of comments, people saying, make Game Dev Tycoon. So we're going to do that, and then after this game we will probably make a new game engine. But it looks like very soon it will be time to take Abduction Wars off the market. It's still making a tiny bit of profit, so we will leave it. But this is a simulation game, so we just need to bring down the gameplay a little, focus on the engine. So everyone's sliders look good there. Let's just check this over here. So gameplay is actually going to suffer from that a little bit. So we will probably get rid of the virtual reality headset and throw on the steering wheel. And again, these things, they're not logical. I know you don't need a steering wheel to play this, they simply add score. And let's see if that works. It does. Both of them? No, so we're going to have to take off character progression. And so that's everything good. Now who's doing what? Sebastian, Luke and Jennifer are the people we need to give multipliers to. So Luke, Sebastian, Jennifer over there. Let's go over to the R&D lab real quick. And they're going to make a marketing campaign. So hopefully all of this will come together in time. I'm not going to do any marketing this time. Or maybe later, but not in the beginning stage. Actually, it kind of makes sense to do a lot because we have so much money. So we'll do that later on. We'll run a few of these back to back and see if it makes any difference. Okay, so yeah, of course we had a game convention. So hopefully this will bring up the hype for this one. I think we're going to miss out on G3 this time. I forget the date, but I think it's past. Okay, so Abduction Wars is still selling, and now it's its first week that it's made a loss, and in the second week it's made a tiny profit. And you know what, I think the game convention is going to give a boost to that, so we will actually continue with that. So simulation is all about level design and not so much artificial intelligence. And dialogue 0. So let's see what's been affected down here. We can still do everything, that's good. Maybe bring that down a touch. Excellent. Okay, so is anyone being overworked? Yep, Philip is. So in that case we should actually bring this up to its 100%. Like that. And who are we giving the multipliers to? Philip and Sergio. So there you go. Sergio down the bottom. Okay, and now it's time for our own Tea Eating Games convention. We had 2 million people attend G3, 2.3, and we got around the same for our own convention. Excellent. So now we should see the sales of the game box and Abduction Wars go through the roof. There we go, you can see it. So it's a good thing I didn't cancel that. And now the hype rolls in for Game Dev Tycoon. A game within a game. And everything is looking good. Keeping up with our backlog as well. It seems like developing the tea bag, as it's called, isn't affecting that. And this is good, we are making tons and tons of money in year 49. Okay, so the final set of sliders, want kind of a balance with everything here really. However, we have to get our graphics fully done, so there we go. Sound and well design, can possibly put more into this, so let's bring that up a touch. Does that affect anything? No, it doesn't. So Paul Reed is doing two things here, that's not good. Where is Paul Reed? There he is, he's overworked with 128%. And I'm kind of underworked. This is going to be difficult to balance. Let's see if we can put Jennifer on world design. We bring that down a touch. We're actually going to have to sacrifice something here. So let's get rid of open world. Maybe we can put in dynamic world? Nope. Let's go with realistic weather then. And yeah, 100% for those three people. So we need to use Asuma and Paul Reed's multipliers. And Jennifer has one as well, and since she's doing a category we might as well use hers. In fact, let's use these guys as well. And let's do some marketing. I did say we'd give it a go. Let's just do a couple of large campaigns back to back. So we are at 375. And now we're going to jump up by 10, I think that was. Maybe not even 10. It goes by so quick. Yeah, I really don't think that makes a difference. However, let's do it when the hype stops going up. That would be a good time. And our marketing campaign is about to begin. There we go, that's finished. So now we'll get tons of research points from our R&D lab. And everything is normalised again, that's cool. So the hype is starting to slow down a little. And I think we're going to make record points again, possibly. So now that the hype has stayed still, let's see what happens. It was 519, so 524, that's an increase of 5. Do another large campaign, and another increase of 5. So 5 points for 2 million doesn't seem worth it. So we will just get rid of these bugs. We'll get a few more of these points along the way and see what happens. Although a large marketing campaign, it could sustain the hype from dropping possibly. I don't know how it works, but that is a possibility right there. And it looks like we're going to have to take abduction wars off the market now. I think the next week we have where it makes a loss will be the one that we take it off, and it's still actually making a profit at the moment. Okay, there we go, we're taking it off the market. Yep, and then we're going to finish our game in a moment. Okay, what's this? We got word that Tycoon Games is retiring the MMO game Abduction Wars from the market. The game has been on the market for 34.7 months and racked up over 160 million in sales. We're not quite sure why Tycoon Games have decided to take Abduction Wars off the market. The game is still likely to generate income for the company. Well, actually the costs are outweighing it. And there we go, we're going to lose some fans from that. Let's see how many fans we lose. So 200,000, wow, that's a lot more than I expected, but we still have 6.5 million, which is quite a lot. And so there goes the hype, time to release. Didn't get a record on either of those, we did get a good management multiplier. Didn't get a good combination one, that's really strange. I thought Game Dev Tycoon as a simulator would be completely logical. How bizarre. Let's see what the reviews are. I got a feeling they could be low. An 8. Not what I expected, but there you go, a 9. So they're not low. We just didn't get a combination bonus for that. That's very strange. I was expecting one of those. Don't tell me I already did this and forgot. I've got a feeling I've already done this now and I've forgotten that we've already made the Game Dev. We did! How on earth did I forget that? Oh, what a fool I am. What a fool I am. Well, joke's on me, I guess. Made the same game twice. I bet it will still say. And we got the Inception awards, but we didn't get that before. How very odd. Okay, I think that's a good place to wrap things up actually. I made a bit of a fool of myself. The tea bag will be ready, and in the next episode I guess we'll develop our new game engine and release it on that and see if we can make a lot more money, because I've heard people talking about stories of making tons and tons of money, ridiculous amounts compared to what we have. So here we go, we've announced that we're working on a new console, and we've made 1 million in sales on Game Dev Tycoon. But what we're going to do here is do a little bit of training, get everyone ready for the next project, and I will see you in the next episode.